All right, guys, hello. My name is Katie Danger. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. It means a lot. I know there's lots of other things that you could do at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, so I really appreciate you spending it with me. This presentation is about the wellness protocol, and it's a new opportunity that I want to share with you. It is a seminar that is in response to the millions of Americans who suffer with chronic illnesses. It's a response to the millions of Americans who are dependent on their prescription medications, but most importantly, it's hope. It's hope that there is another way to do this. It's hope that there is a way that you can live life on your terms and take control and not have chronic illnesses. You can reverse your chronic illness, you can eliminate prescription medications from your life, and you can live your life on your terms. So, who am I? Well, I already told you my name is Katie Danger. I'm originally from Norfolk, Nebraska. I graduated in 2003 from Norfolk Catholic High School. And if you asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I would have told you hands down every single day of the week I want to be a police officer. And I wanted to be a police officer because I wanted to help people live their lives better. Now, at the time, I thought that was the vehicle. I thought being a police officer was the how. That's how I do it. So I decided I went to UNL. I majored in psychology, and I took some courses and I took some classes, and I still couldn't figure out how I was going to be a police officer. Like how do I put myself in the best position to be the best candidate to be a police officer? Because I wanted to help people live their lives better. So I spent 2.5 years as an undergrad with really no roadmap to any sort of success. So I ended up finding an Army recruiter, and I found out that I could join the Army as a military police officer. So I could join the military, get a lot of cool experience, get my college paid for, and also get that experience that I thought was going to get me into the position that I wanted. So I enlisted as a military police officer in May of 2007, went to basic training, went to AIT, did all the training, and then I came back to UNL in August of 2008, and I joined the ROTC program at UNL because I knew that if I put myself in a position to be an officer, I would also just have that more of an advantage over my other peers who wanted to be officers too. So that was part of the plan. Then I graduated from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in psychology. I graduated as a distinguished military grad, and the next step was I was heading down to Fort Huachuca, Arizona to do my military intel training. So I did all that, and I was really close. I mean, I was on track for my dream. I had a great candidate profile. I actually was brought on to the Austin, Texas Police Department. I guess I should have prefaced that. My dream, I wanted to be an Austin, Texas police officer. One, they had some of the best qualified police officers down there, but I also wanted to get the heck out of Nebraska. So I thought Texas would be the great place to go. Austin was a fantastic and liberal city. It just lined up with my beliefs. But here's the thing, life always throws you some curveballs, right? I still wanted to help people. But then as I did some of the pre-officer training, I realized maybe this isn't for me. Some of the requirements were a little outside of my scope of what I felt I was comfortable with. But then I got an offer from an acquaintance. I got an offer from an acquaintance to come back to Omaha, have a position as a fitness trainer. And I thought, my goodness, I know this is outside of what I ever thought, but this sounds like a really great way to help people live their lives better. So that's exactly what I did. I moved, I basically gave my dream of being a police officer to someone else because I felt that I had the best opportunity to accomplish what I wanted to here in Omaha as a fitness professional. Now, because when you're trying to grow your own fitness professional business, sometimes you need a little extra income. Well, being a veteran, I was still in the military. I served in the Army National Guard, so that's why I was able to move back here so easily. I got a job at the Social Security Administration, so I worked there for a while. I was able to help people there too. As a public servant, it certainly fueled what I was passionate about, and then I was able to, on the side, train people as a personal trainer. But that's just the beginning of the story. I don't want to go too much into it, so we'll just go ahead and move on. I'm also a crazy guinea pig lady. I love guinea pigs. I've got 11 of them. I've got 4 up here, basically because these are the cutest pictures, but I love all of them. I have 11 of them. This is Sophia, this is Cinnamon, this is Lola, and that is Gizmo, also known as Gizzy, Wizzy, Jizzy, Busy Gizzy. I love them all, but yeah, so I'm a crazy guinea pig lady. I really love animals, and that's just a little part of me too. But there's also something that defined me for far too long, and that is up until very recently, I struggled mightily with my chronic depression and anxiety. So chronic illnesses like depression and anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, memory and brain diseases, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, you name it, these are prematurely killing Americans. These chronic illnesses are prematurely killing Americans. Most of these chronic conditions are actually related to what we eat. Now, the bad news is that this information is not mainstream. You are not going to be able to pull up an article in the paper or do a lot of searching and be able to find a lot of information on the actual benefits of what I'm about to tell you. It's a plant-based diet. It's a plant-based diet. But the good news is that you are here today with me right now, and I'm going to share the information with you that you can take today and start making some better guided decisions on how you can live your life better. When you leave here today, you'll know the exact why and how on how to live your life better, live it on your terms, and reverse your chronic illness. So before we get started, I want to do something real quick, okay? We don't have anything in our hands, but I want us all to just take a deep breath. So let everything out. Exhale for me. All right, now take a deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Take that deep breath in. Hold it and then let it out. Okay, so the reason I had you do this is because I wanted you to let go of all your apprehensions, all of your past failures, everything you've ever heard before that hasn't worked for you. I want you to let it go. It's gone, it's done, it's in the past. We're gonna move forward with something completely new and revolutionary for you. Before we go any further, I want to ask for your commitment though. I want your commitment that if you believe in yourself that you have actionable steps you can take to implement these tools in your life to feel better, look better, reverse chronic illness, transition safely off of medication, and live life on your terms, I want you to make a commitment that you'll take the actionable steps today. That's the commitment I want from you, okay? If you believe in yourself and in this information, you'll take the necessary steps forward, okay? So I have that commitment from you. Do you want to reverse your chronic illness? Would you like to not be dependent on your prescription medication? I know that I didn't want to be. Would you like to lose weight and keep it off? Once and for all, find a way to lose the weight and keep it off in a healthy, sustainable, and enjoyable way. Wouldn't that be the perfect marriage? Why hasn't this happened for you yet? Do you guys know what the definition of insanity is? It's doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. I don't believe that this is the first time that you tried to find solutions on how to reverse your chronic illness, but we just took a deep breath earlier, and I also know that you let go of all your apprehensions and all the past failures. You let them out. They're not there anymore. We're in a new opportunity and a new environment. We are here for the hope that I mentioned at the beginning, that there's an opportunity for real results, long-lasting, sustainable results. So this is where my story comes in, because not too long ago I was in a similar place that you might be in right now, and that's I didn't feel good in my own body, and everything that I had tried up to a certain point hadn't worked at all for me. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about the time, in 1 week, the time that I lost my job. I had a whole body inflammation, cystic acne flare-up that was incredibly painful, and a seizure in 1 week. All this happened to me in 1 week, and this was all because of my inability to manage my chronic depression and anxiety. For years and years, I struggled with meeting my commitments at work, and I struggled with being present. I was getting more and more depressed and frustrated with no relief. At the time, I was trying to self-manage my chronic depression and anxiety. That's when the really bad thing happened. I was fired from my government position that was well-paying and provided security for me. If you guys know anything about government positions, it's really hard to get fired from a government position, but I did. I managed to do that. And unfortunately, it really, really sucked at the time, but you know what? It brought me to this point. Because I got fired though, I couldn't pay my bills, I couldn't be a good partner, and it was hard to keep a roof over my head at the time. So as you can imagine, even though I was in a deep, dark place, this just had me in worse shape. I was desperate. But with my training, with the person I am, I wasn't ready to give up. I still believed that I had control over my health, even though I was at my lowest point. So my main problem was, after I sat down and I defined it, because you have to know exactly what your problem is before you can actually conquer it. And I defined it. It's very simple. I had to find a way. I had to find a way to cure my chronic depression and anxiety, because I just couldn't be the person I wanted to be unless I found a way to conquer that. Unfortunately though, the doctors, the therapists, the time off work that I had taken prior to being fired from my job, nothing brought me the relief that I was looking for. Now, I probably should have stated that before we started. I do have an extensive background in health, fitness, and nutrition. After I graduated UNL, I went on from a military training. They continued to pay for my post-bachelor education. So I got a master's degree in exercise science. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I have almost a dozen specialty fitness certifications. So with all that information I gained over the years, with all of this indoctrinated education that I've received, I still could not figure out a way to fix myself. It was really upsetting. I tried prescription medication. For 2 years, I was on Prozac. I started at 10 milligrams. I went up to 20, and I went up to 40. In less than 2 years, I had 4 times my dose, right? And I just, when I hit 40, I'm like, well, what's next? They only make 40 milligram pills, right? So I just knew that wasn't going to be the answer for me. I even tried in a prescription experimental clinical trial that my doctor recommended, and it didn't work. I mean, the prescription's not even out on the market, but it didn't work for me, and it sucked even more because it depressed me. I'm like, this didn't even work. So I was recommended a couple years ago to start following the keto diet, and that didn't work for me either. It was in fact one of the worst things I ever did. It inflamed my body even more. But I still didn't give up. I tried nutritional supplements, and these helped me a little, which is the genesis of what Red H Nutrition is. However, then a year ago, just a year ago, everything changed for me. I had my big aha moment. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I came across this blog post, and the headline got me. I cannot remember what the headline is, but I just know that it said that meat and dairy products were contributing to the premature death of Americans. And at first, I mean, that might have not got my eye, but in the article, it talked about depression and anxiety. And of course, my ears went up because this is exactly what I was struggling with. This is exactly what I had found no relief for. So I'm like, meat and dairy products, huh? Okay, I'm like, I'm all ears, I'll listen. This was called the China study. And a synopsis of the China study is this. More than 8,000 statistically significant human subjects, and they found associations between the lifestyle, their diet, and then the rate of chronic onset disease. So that means what they were eating, they became basically what they ate. And simple statement here by Dr. T. Colin Campbell, he's one of the co-authors of the China study. He stated that people who ate the most animal foods got the most chronic disease, and people who ate the most plant-based foods were the healthiest. I'm gonna say that one more time because it's incredibly important. It's, I would say, like the most starred, underlined, highlighted piece of the entire study. People who ate the most animal foods got the most chronic disease, and people who ate the most plant-based foods were the healthiest. In there, it did specifically state that animal protein, casein protein, promotes the growth of cancer cells. So here are some of my takeaways. These are the more emotionally, I hold them a lot closer. They certainly relate very quickly. Chronic illnesses are not death sentences, and you don't have to live with them. I was like, finally, I might have some control over my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings. Chronic illnesses like arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, and heart disease can all be reversed with fruits and veggies. Our diet, and this is important too. Part of the bad news that I talked about earlier is that this information isn't mainstream. It may never be mainstream, but our diets and food recommendations are currently based off of powerful lobbyists and politicians in Washington. And I can tell you that they do not have our best interests in mind. Okay, so I'm a little frustrated. I read this article, I'm like, this goes against years and years of information and education and the degree that I have on my wall. But you know what? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I realize it's not my fault that I was struggling, and if you happen to be struggling, it's not your fault either. I felt like it's me versus these government and corporate interests. I was failing because the corporate and government interests, they're guiding our food choices and our research. No wonder that I was struggling. For years, I don't believe that my doctor had any malice in this, but for years I feel like this whole medical industry wanted me to believe that there was no way that I could actually cure this and take control of it. And then when I finally realized that wasn't true, I felt like the chains just broke free from me, and I started seeing the results that I was really desperate for. Right now as we sit here and I give this presentation, there's active media campaigns on the internet, on the TV, on the radio, on the newspaper. There's active campaigns that they're actually keeping you from discovering this information. I have no good reason why the China study hadn't been mentioned to me in my 4 years of my undergraduate education, and then my 4 years of my master's degree education in exercise science. I don't know why that wasn't mentioned to me, but it's all for business profit. Once I realized that I could eat my way to wellness, I had complete control. over what I put in my mouth. And that's when I really understood, like, I can reverse this fast. I can actually start living my life how I want to quickly. I used what I discovered from the China study, and I was able to implement a plant-based diet. And by removing most, not all, because we're human, and we still want to enjoy some things, right? But by removing most animal and dairy products, it's about a 90-10 ratio, I could actually start improving my organ and gut health, which, as I discovered through all the science and getting down to the nitty-gritty of it, that's actually the genesis. That's the root of all chronic disease, is in our gut. So the plant-based diet promotes the gut health, and then with a healthy gut, we reverse chronic disease. I've eliminated all prescription medications from my life. I enjoy my food, and I manage a healthy, sustainable weight. I enjoy my food. I enjoy my food. I don't want you to just take my word for it, though. I've got 3 brave people that I want to introduce you today. 2 of them are actually here in the audience. But the importance is they're going to share their journeys of plant-based wellness and what it's done for them. First person is my mother-in-law, Phoebe. Phoebe, you coming up here?
Oh, you put my age up there.
You should be proud of this.
Absolutely.
You should be proud of this.
Yeah.
All right, come on up here.
For sure.
Up here. Up here.
Okay, dear.
I'm going to have you come over here, okay?
Oh, your hands are cold. She's always cold when I'm
Okay, so Phoebe is 71 years young. She is my mother-in-law. She's an incredible inspiration because she actually started on this. She started on this before I did. I read the China study, but she started implementing it sooner than I did. She loves to garden. She loves to fish. She's an outdoorsy woman. She's got the greenest thumb I've ever seen. However, you struggled with severe arthritis that's debilitated you from doing what you love.
Yes, severe arthritis, and I kept going to rheumatologists and going back, and I suffered for like several years, and they put me on medications, and my arms were just solid bruises. And every doctor I went to, they said, "Oh, you're just getting old. Oh, you're just getting old. Your skin's getting thin." And the last rheumatologist put me on. I said, "That's it. I got to find another way."
You felt there had to be another way.
There had to be. I was desperate. I don't want to see docs anymore. I don't want them to push any more meds at me. They were wanting to up my doses to cancer level medications. I said, no. And then my daughter was really concerned, and I went to a nutritionist. And he advised me to try and go up. He didn't say I couldn't have meat, but he said that dairy and red meat were one of the main causes of inflammation. So I started the plant-based diet. I didn't have trouble leaving out milk and cheese. It just, there's so many alternatives, and I grow vegetables. I don't have the bruises. I don't have the swelling. My knuckles were so big and so red.
I remember what they looked like.
Yeah. And Pitty was saying last night, she says, "Oh, they were so ugly." But it's gone.
So,
and I've been on it since November.
what does it mean for you, though? What are you able to do now that you were debilitated from before? I
thought there is no way. I have massive gardens. I live on a corner lot, and it surrounds huge. Exactly. I've had tours. Sheila, you saw it for the other day at my plant sale. But I was considering selling my house and buying a ranch because I didn't feel that I could get out in the yard and do anything. And I just remodeled my kitchen with my partner by ourselves. We're talking cabinets, everything. I'm back to feeling good again. I've got more energy. I sleep so much better. This is what amazes me. I could never get to sleep. I go through all these meditations and relaxation things, and I couldn't go to sleep. Now my head is a pillow and it's bonk, and I sleep all night. Except if I have to go to the bathroom. But yeah, so many changes have been so I feel so much better.
So, for
I gotta add something to it.
Go ahead.
I've been a Weight Watcher member for several years and followed their, I still go to Weight Watchers because I've got a friend that's heavy, and I said I'd go as long as she was losing. I don't follow any of the Weight Watcher stuff anymore, and I have not gained a pound, and I'm eating more than I've ever eaten before.
What would you say to the people here, and then anybody watching later, that says, I can't do this? Like, there's no way. I mean, they're suffering like you were, but they feel like they can't do it. What would you say?
I would say, yeah, you can. Just try it. Just try it, because
You said there's options and alternatives, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is, I mean, try it. It brings the creative side out of you too, because it's a challenge to create new recipes. You'd be surprised how good they are. I'd never tried tofu in my life, and she showed me how to cook it several ways, and I don't mind it. I do not miss meat. And I used to love salads, and I was starving myself to lose weight. But now I add beans to it and tofu or whatever, and it's just as tasty. You can get plant-based cheese, and
It's really good too.
yeah,
So-
it is.
Agree or disagree, this has been life-changing for you.
It has definitely been life-changing for me, and I don't ever want to go back to it. I don't want to ever see that rheumatologist again. And
Tell me about, so have you seen an improvement in the medication you've been taking? Are you taking less?
I'm
than
taking
we're-
less medications.
Okay.
I'm taking, yeah. I'm
And
not-
that,
yeah,
and that didn't start happening until you switched your diet?
That's right.
Okay.
It didn't.
So this is why it's important that people know that she's 71. One, because you can teach an old dog new tricks, right? But two, because she really had some deep, debilitating illness that kept her from doing the things that she loved, and she was able to get back to it. So it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, or what chronic illness you have.
Mine was to
there's a
get
way.
off the drugs, and I wanted to be in control of my health.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Yep.
All right, guys, just clap for her. She's a big deal in my book. She's a big deal. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to move on to James. James couldn't be here today. James is 57 years young. And this was James before. This is James after. But James suffered with chronic obesity and pain his entire life. Basically, he said since he's been 20 years old, he's just struggled with his weight, but he didn't know what to do to fix it, so he just went through life. And then he had a health scare about 8 months ago that put him in the hospital, and his A1C markers, he was diabetic, he had high blood pressure, and obviously, I mean, they finally put pen to paper and like, you are chronically obese, James. So James found out about a plant-based diet, and he went all in. He has since, in 8 months, he's lost 150 pounds. And he's reversed his type 2 diabetes. And I say that because his A1C markers were at 1 point 8 months ago, and now they are at a normal level. So in my opinion, he's no longer diabetic. He claims he's also reversed it. And then we have Sheila. Sheila is also here. Sheila is always on the go. She loves social interactions and meeting new people. Some of the things that she's expressed to me is she has high blood pressure that she wants to manage, and she's had some difficulty with her weight. So Sheila, I want to bring you up here. And I want to talk a little bit, I want you to share your story with us. If you would, please.
Not the whole story, but.
No. I just want to know why you decided that plant-based was for you.
I wanted organ health. I learned that if you heal your organs, you can lose weight easier. And I started with a nutritionist, the same one with Phoebe, in October. And I'm eating way more calories now too. 1,800 versus 1,200 that I was working out and killed myself trying to lose weight. And as soon as I lost it, then it came back because I was on so low calories. But yeah, I just feel better, and the weight's coming off now again, like way easier. And it does make you more creative too with your foods, like tofu and that stuff's good. Like.
So what does this all mean to you though? How does it improve your life?
Well, I'm trying to get off my blood pressure, and my blood pressure went from the high 150s over 80s in October to now 118. The other day was 116.
That's really incredible. Like that's an
Yeah,
incredible
yeah.
point reduction.
I just want to get off the pill. I don't want to take that pill every day.
I know, because you mentioned it. The pill also, I mean, if organ health and liver health is
The pill has been recalled 3 times too.
So,
I don't want to be
yes.
on that.
There's a whole nother aspect of prescription medications. We won't go there today,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we know that getting off of them is important.
Yeah. So we've just changed. I want to be healthy. I've done the Weight Watchers thing for years. I lost a lot of weight. I'd always gain it back. I've been holding pretty steady for a while, but now it's coming off again. And even though I'm not eating, I still eat some chicken. I like shrimp, things like that. But I'm eating plants, and I have more muscle now than I ever have. I never had muscle before. Now I actually have muscle. I'm gonna be 56 years old in July, so I got muscles now.
Coming up on your birthday.
Yeah.
How long have you been following a plant-based diet?
Well, really since October.
Okay. And you've seen all these changes since then.
I
Pretty
have.
short amount of time considering, I mean, you're 56, right? 8 months and
Yeah.
56 years isn't
Yeah.
that much.
I've had, I have seen more progress in the last, since October than I really ever have for just strength, health. I just feel better. Energy. I just have tons of energy.
So what would you tell people here and anybody watching later? What would you tell them if they say, I can't do it? I can't eat meat, or I can't not eat meat?
You don't even have to take it all out. You just replace small things. Like, my husband's adding spinach to a smoothie. He can't taste it, and he's like, oh, okay, it was good for me. You know, he still likes to eat meat, and we eat chicken, and I think it's just important you just kind of slowly have to change certain things.
For sure.
Like, you can't have boys who eat meat all day long, you know, that's what they, but they'll still have the energy, they'll feel better without all the extra stuff. And the extra processed foods is a huge thing. Like, I can tell if I have something that's really not great, it's processed, I just feel terrible, so.
Would you ever consider, going back to the way that you were eating before?
No, because I felt terrible and it didn't work for me. It didn't heal me and it didn't help me lose weight. It might have helped me lose weight, but it came right back on.
All right.
I just feel a lot better now and more energy.
Well, thank you for sharing.
That's the best thing I've done.
Thanks, Sheila. I appreciate
And
it.
adding super greens too.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I should say that too.
Little product
Yeah.
promotion?
Yes.
Yeah, those super greens. One scoop of those super greens is like eating 8 servings of vegetable. And
It's
so
6. It's 6.
6?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it though. I'm going to talk about it later.
okay.
I'm going to talk about
Well,
it.
I had to
So,
so,
unintended product plug. Yes, super greens. We'll talk about it. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, Sheila, for sharing your stories. I think it's always powerful because these results are from real people, just like me, just like you. I mean, they're real people. You can touch them, you can see them, right? But before we go any further, I need your permission on something. I've experienced a lot in the 10 years that I've been struggling with my depression, anxiety, and then struggling to put a plan in place that's going to make me well. So I knew that I had to make a system. I had to make a system available to everybody who needed it. So I'm going to spend just 15 minutes, and I want to share a special offer I created for you today, and I just need your permission to do that. I'm going to show you the exact how. Is that all right if I move on? Okay. All right. I created the wellness protocol system. It includes everything that you need to be successful on your own. It is your roadmap to reverse chronic illness, safely transition off dependence of prescription medication, lose weight and keep it off, make nutrition easy, enjoyable, and sustainable. Easy, enjoyable, and sustainable. Yes, you can have your cake and eat it too, as long as it's a vegan cake, right? But really the most important thing is this is a collaborative effort. You're gonna educate yourself and collaborate with your medical professionals more effectively. So we're not cutting out the medical professionals in your life. We're not just cutting out prescription medications. This is a transition to what works best for you. And if transitioning completely off is best for you, then that's what we want. And we're gonna do that with collaboration with your medical professionals. The Wellness Protocol simplifies the entire process. It took me 10 years to figure out. It's gonna give you everything you need on the how to reverse your chronic illness, managing your prescription medications, lose the weight, and keep it off. I told you before, it took me 10 years to create this. It cost me thousands of dollars, insurance deductibles, doctor's visits, prescription medications, and a visit to the ER. And I also lost my job, so that's pretty that is expensive too in its own way. But you know what? It's been totally worth it. This whole journey's been totally worth it. I said it once, I'll say it again. All of the heartache and all of the issues, all of the uphill trek, it was totally worth it. There was a time where I believed that I couldn't manage my health and wellness outside the medical system. I really thought that I had to have I didn't have any control over this. And it wasn't a good feeling. Maybe it's just because I'm a type A personality, but I like to be in control, especially of my own body. So it took me 10 years to discover. I can now do for anybody 40 times faster with the wellness protocol. So if you're not a math nerd, 10 years, 40 times faster is actually 90 days. So in 90 days, a three-month program. Here's exactly what you're gonna get with the wellness protocol system. You're gonna reverse your chronic illness so you feel better and live life on your terms. You're going to discover that food is the medicine your body needs to help you heal. You'll be able to safely transition to a lifestyle not dependent on prescription medications. You're going to have control over your health so you can thrive in the body that God gave you. Now, no matter what your religion or your spirituality aligns with, we only have one of these, and I think that we should take care of it, and we should educate ourselves on how to live better in what we're given. You'll know exactly how to make healthy, sustainable food choices the next time you go grocery shopping. You're going to get a detailed, personalized plan with complete nutritional guidance. I'm going to say it again. I always repeat the most important things. You'll get a detailed, personalized plan with complete nutritional guidance. You've heard the old adage before, give a man a fish and you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. It also goes, if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That is exactly what's going on here. I'm going to give you a fish, but along the way, I'm going to teach you how to fish too. So you're gonna be able to come with me by the hand. We're going to go through this process, and then on the other side, you're going to be able to do this for yourself consistently, repeatedly, and effectively. Would you like to start the wellness protocol system? So for less than the current cost of your prescription medication, for less than the out-of-pocket medical care costs and your insurance deductible, and I know all of this because I've spent thousands of dollars on my medical care prior, you can start the wellness protocol system today. So you've seen how it works for others. You've seen the experience that I've had with a plant-based transition, and it can work for you too. Here's what you're gonna get. This is the how, this is the full roadmap. You're gonna get 3 months of meal plans. That is 90 full days of meal plans, a full weekly grocery shopping list. That is 90 full days, 12 full weeks of grocery shopping list. There is no guessing here. Mobile app access where you can stay accountable on the go. Weekly coaching and check-ins. That means you and I are going to meet once every week to make sure that where you are is still where you want to be. Dining out food choice success guide, because it is really fun to go out to eat with your friends and family, and you don't have to give any of that up. But I put together a guide that helps you stay successful if you want some alternative options when you go out. A plant-based cooking 101 and recipe guide. A lot of the reasons people don't believe that they can sustain this is because they don't know how to either cook, or they don't know what substitutions might be for traditional meat and dairy products. This is going to give it all to you. The Green Smoothie Lifestyle Recipe Guide for on the go and for active people and Americans in general. Our attention spans are little and we want quick fixes. This is basically your quick fix guide, that Green Smoothie Lifestyle Recipe Guide. You're also going to get the private Facebook group access, and what that group will do to you, maybe the most invaluable piece of this entire system, is it gives you the accountability, but also the support system. So even if you don't have anybody at home that supports you at the time, you're going to have that Facebook group that's going to have others who've been there and done that, and you can share the things you've done well, the things that you'd like to do better. And the weekly email newsletter. As being a fitness professional, and then definitely in the supplement industry, I have access to a lot of information and journal articles that most people don't. So that's how I'm going to make sure that we're staying on top of all of the nutritional information that comes out. Bonuses, I got 3 awesome bonuses I'm throwing in this package. You're going to get a complete 90-day nutritional supplement bundle. I mentioned before that some relief I found with over-the-counter nutritional supplements. So I put together a bundle that's specifically tailored towards a plant-based, gut health-driven diet. And the super greens, which Phoebe had mentioned earlier, a multivitamin that promotes thyroid, liver, and organ health, and then a probiotic that focuses on your gut health and digestion. That's worth $345. You're also going to get a wellness protocol food journal, and then Dr. Sammy Herbster, she's in the background. I want you to come up real quick. This is Dr. Sammy Herbster. She is a board-certified physical therapist, and what she's doing is she believes in this system so much that she's going to be offering her time to do a body scan and postural assessment. It's part of wellness, and she believes in this program so much she's going to be donating her time. So if you sign up, you'll get that value of $297 just for free. So thank you, Sammy. Yes, thank you. If you add all this up, it's $2,900. Why is that? I've simplified this entire process for you. I've simplified it so you can implement it into your life quickly. You don't have to waste any more of your time. Your time is very valuable. This is your unique and personal roadmap for success. So this isn't a cookie cutter program. This is an actual roadmap based on what you need in your life. If all this system did for you was show you how to have control over your health, would it be worth it? If all this system did for you was to help you stop your illness from controlling your life, would it be worth it? If all this did was to help you take control and live your life on your terms, would it be worth it? Of course it would. It was for me. All of those questions I asked myself, and absolutely, it is completely worth it. But here's some even better news. I'm not charging anybody $2,900 for this, okay? Nobody's getting charged $2,900. Today, right here, right now, I'm gonna give you all of the things I talked about before, my time, my resources, and a guarantee that I'll talk to you in a second about my knowledge and everything that I've learned over the past 10 years for only $497. That's today for the seminar. I'm gonna take all of the risk off of this as well. All the risk is gone. I'm gonna give you my money back guarantee. If this doesn't show you exactly how you reverse your chronic illness, I'm gonna give you your money back. If this system doesn't take you by the hand and show you step by step how to get the results that you want and transition safely off of prescription medications, I'm gonna give you your money back. And if it doesn't help you lose the weight and keep it off, then I'm gonna give you your money back. So you've heard from me, you've heard from others. I wanna know, are you ready? Are you ready to take the actionable steps you need to take to change your life? I truly believe that your life depends on it. I am not sure personally where I would be had I not come across that China study about a year ago, but I do know that at that point I was at one of the lowest in my life, and right now I'm at one of the highest points in my life. Just imagine what your life will be like when you start reversing your chronic illness. Imagine what it's gonna be like to live life on your terms. You're gonna get back to the hobbies that you enjoy. I'm gonna be blunt with you. If you pass on this offer, do you really think that you're gonna succeed with reversing and preventing your chronic disease? I don't think so. I don't think so because of my experience and how long it took me to figure this out. You're probably just gonna keep struggling and you're not going to figure this out on your own. Most of what you need is the instruction and the encouragement from somebody who's been there and done that, who's helped others be there and do that. I want you to join the wellness protocol so you can enjoy the success that you deserve and that I believe you've been looking for. I'm gonna go through and give you a reminder. This is exactly what you're gonna get today. The 3 months of the meal plans, the full weekly grocery shopping list, mobile app access, weekly coaching and check-ins, the Dining Out Food Choice Success Guide, the Plant-Based Cooking 101 and Recipe Guide, smoothie lifestyle recipes, private Facebook group, and the weekly email newsletter so you stay up and up on what's coming up in the industry. And don't forget the bonuses. The 90-day nutritional supplement bundle, a full 90-day supply of 3 of the most important supplements you need to stay on track. Bonus number 2, the food journal, and then maybe the most valuable of all the bonuses, the body scan and postural assessment from Dr. Sammy Herbster. I believe that never before you've had such a unique opportunity for somebody to take you by the hand and help you with your nutrition and reverse your chronic illness. So I'm going to wrap this up. You've been presented with some information today that may be very different than anything you've ever been told. I understand that. When I first came across the China study and it directly said that animal and dairy products contribute to chronic illness, my ego flared a little bit. I did some more research. It's brought me to this point. So I understand if some of this is a little bit different than anything you've ever been heard or told before. But I want to remember what the definition of insanity is. It's doing the same thing over and over again. It's trying the same diets over and over again. It's drastically reducing calories and then hoping it sticks when you just go right back to the same habits. So I want you to think, maybe it's time to try something different. And I asked you a little while ago about your commitment, that if you believe that the wellness protocol, after everything you've heard, if you believe that it can help you reach your destination, that you'll take the actionable steps today. So I'm going to ask yourself, you don't have to say it out loud, just ask yourself, do you believe that? Do you believe what I presented to you today will help you get to where you want to go? I want to thank you guys so much for your time. I wish you a long and prosperous life. And Sammy is going to be handing out some articles before you go, so make sure you grab one of these. Otherwise, I'll be hanging out up front with questions, and if you want to sign up, I'm ready to do that today too. So thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you guys later.